Thought I'd do something different here for this video. Normally, if you know my YouTube channel, normally I have a PowerPoint presentation that covers what I think or a static image from the old videos. But this time, I'm just gonna have some video footage from my playthrough running in the back. Let's get into it here. Seraph is a short run and gun game focusing on mobility and skill usage. Here's the quick lore rundown. So if you don't like spoilers, just skip ahead, I guess. I'll also note that I can't guarantee this is 100% the true lore, since there are logs I never read, but I'm not replaying the game just to get those, so come at me, bro. So Seraph is a being who is borrowing the body of a woman called Talia. The borrow period was intended to be 48 hours, but let's just say someone overstayed their welcome. The goal was to assassinate some person we're told is evil. Unfortunately, Talia ruined the plan, alerting a group called the Faith, who captured Seraph and Talia and imprisoned them on a ship that is meant to never be seen by most of the world. They do this with the intent to research Seraph, and it seems some of their research bore fruit, since they got some kind of medicinal stuff from it. The boat sails for 3 years, and then we don't know. We don't know what happens next. Seraph allegedly calls in some demons, and they slaughter the guards, permitting Seraph to escape, but we don't know exactly how long this is from the start point. Seraph began this mission without permission from God, so it's told that he's abandoned it. Seraph is tempted by Guide, who was later discovered to be the game's equivalent to Satan, to abandon God fully and join Satan in ruling the earth. Whether or not you join Satan is up to you. Clearly, there's meant to be a lot of religious references here. It's Seraph comes from Seraphim. Religion plays a major point in the main story, or at least the background to the main story. The current story, Seraph is never going home, so everything it does is meaningless if it plans to return to heaven. Satan offers an alternative where you're stuck on Earth no matter what. Well, does it really matter what you do? Do you strike your conscience if there's no reward to be found at the end of the tunnel? And that's probably the best case I can make for the question of the game's story. However, there's really not a whole lot in the game that reinforces this question and those themes. The game is surprisingly short, having only two boss battles. The story dumps for Seraph only happen at the beginning and the end of each levels, and then there were what 20, 25 levels, something like that. The game is a run and gun platformer with crystals you can use to enhance your abilities. You have a dash that provides iframes. You have miracles you can use to help clear enemies. For each stage, you need to beat a minor boss and then move to the next stage. Sometimes you have to like wave the fence sort of thing, but it's the same. Only in this case, the boss is a portalish crystal. There's a difficulty scaling, which I never figure out how to increase, but I'm sure it's important for something. Aiming is done automatically, thank God. So all you need to do is focus on your positioning. But this is where we get into the problems. I do not like the movement in this game. Jumps were clunky, and there were many times where I did not get my second jump when I felt like I should. I suspect it's timer based, in addition to being touch floor based, maybe. The blink is also clunky to me. Controlling your jumps and blinks and midair movement is just so clunky that I felt like I was fighting the controls to get my character where I wanted them. Map design isn't the best either. The clunky movement could be a bit more forgivable if the levels were a bit more open, so you have a bit more leeway on the clunkiness, but many of the levels have various barriers around you. You can shoot through floors, and thank Christ you can, or this game could have been a lot more annoying. One of the worst things for me, though, is how, from a design point of view, the holes and the platforms aren't readily apparent. Sure, the holes in the floor and or ceiling are consistent per stage, and it won't take much time to figure it out. Which ones are holes and which ones are barriers. But I think floors and holes should just not disappear to the background the way they do in this game. I said earlier that it's a run and gun game, and that's really all it is. Your pistols have infinite ammo, you fire them when you see enemies, and you hold that fire button down until all enemies are gone. See a mini boss, see a boss, switch to your secondary weapon, which was an SMG for me, and you blink through their attacks, and you could use your repel skill if you still have it equipped. Minor bosses can be really trivial, and many of them are, depending on the room you wind up fighting them in. It's as simple as reading the attack and blinking forwards or backwards through the attack. Even the final boss took me a mere 4 or 5 tries, and I'm not going to say that I was any good at the game. I was still using low level gear. Some other minor notes: it seems that the game was designed to be played and replayed as after the boss, you get a new game plus. After making my choice, I didn't see any kind of indication that it mattered. No cutscene, no post credits cutscene. Did any of this make a difference? Maybe I gotta find out the lore bits or replay the game or something to figure it out. But that involves me fighting the map through 20 to 25 more times. Again, that's you know, it's just not worth my time. I'm not gonna do it. And this is only if there's an achievement for having 50 lore logs read, and only if that makes a difference. There's some Twitch integration stuff which I was unable to test because that sort of thing requires an existent audience to put in commands. Also, I refuse to use Twitch. Unfortunately, if your game is going to be a run and gun game, you need the running and gunning to be satisfying. And I'm sorry to say that this is just not the case here. The level design and controls make this a no for me. The story falls flat. There's nothing that makes the characters stand out. It's just bland. But those are just my thoughts. At the end of the day, thumbs down. That'll be it for me here on Seraph. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.